Alright guys, Michael Rosmer here with Richucation. We're here to talk about really the core of mastery, which is this concept of deliberate practice. And we talk about something, there's two great books I would refer you to start off with. One is Talent is Overrated and the other one is The Talent Code. And these books changed my life. They really changed my life because they showed that anything that I wanted to achieve, within, reason, but pretty much, I could. There was a process that I could go through to get there of mastery. And this turns out very well studied, very well understood by science, but little known and little taught. It was one of the things I wish I'd been taught in school. And so I'm going to kind of show you how this works. And you'll notice, interestingly, when I learned it, the interesting thing was I noticed I'd been doing it my whole life without really knowing it, any time that I had gone out and learned something. So let's take a look. So this is deliberate practice. In the Talent Code, they call it deep practice. And there is some value in that term as related to another book called Deep Work by Cal Newport. But okay, so deliberate practice. So what does this look like? So this is not normal practice. This is not going out and just doing something which doesn't actually tend to produce improvement past a certain point, or at least not efficiently. But what you do is you have to have an objective of something it is you're trying to do. Okay? So usually it's good to start with modeling here. Okay? Objective, model. And ideally, this is process oriented. What does it mean that it's process oriented? Well, think about golf. Okay, I'm going to use the golf analogy. You might think the objective is to hit a hole in one. That's actually not the objective. That will generally lead you astray. When they've studied the goals of the most successful performers in all these different fields, they found they have very process-oriented goals. So the process is how you swing, how you hit the ball. I'm the worst golfer you're probably ever going to meet, so I don't know how to do that. But what you want to do is you want to understand, you want to pay attention to trying to match that process. Because if you do the process right, you'll get the result. And the process is where you can make the change. You can't change the result. You're not going to, but what you can change is you can change your process. So you need to have a process in mind. You have to have a model or an objective. You're saying, okay, I'm trying to do this. I'm going to try and, as I'm shooting the basketball, I'm going to push with this hand and spin it or whatever. I don't know what it is that you're going to do, but whatever that is. So that's where you're going to start, okay? And then you're going to go out and you're going to do it, okay? Now, here's what's going to happen. Most likely when you do it, you will probably fail. Okay? Because it's something new to you, you haven't done it before. And so what are you going to do next? You're going to get some feedback, all right? So, feedback. I hope this shows on the video. But the feedback is going to tell you where you went wrong, all right? What went wrong, what broke down, and so give you that information. Ideally you want the quickest, this is where we talked previously about high quality data. You want as immediate feedback as possible so you immediately identify what went wrong. And when you break it, when you make the mistake, you want to stop. All right? So there was a concept I was taught in music where when we were going along playing, and we make a mistake, just keep going. That's not how you get better. When you make the mistake, you want to stop. Now what you want to do is you want to slow it down and you want to deconstruct it into a smaller piece, okay? So you're going to break down and slow down. Why do you do that? Because it allows you to deal with a chunk more easily. So you think about this, is it easier to do a lot of things or one thing? Is it easier to, if I think about when I'm doing a workout, is it easier to go and to get one little precise piece done, or is it easier to do a full complex motion? It's easier to do that one little piece. This is the same thing with like letters and learning language. Is it easier to say a phrase or a word? It's easier to say a word. It's easier to sound out a letter. So same concept applies here. You're going to break it down and slow it down, and then what you're going to do is you're going to do it until you get it right, okay? And when you get it right, then you're going to put it together put it together, and you're going to speed it up. And you're going to do it until you get it perfect. When you get it perfect, you're going to go back to this part. You're going to have your objective, and you're going to try and go. And this is this loop. This is your loop of getting better at something. And you can just think about this logically. How did you learn language? You got in there, and somebody told you, said, you know, how do I say how to go to the bathroom? Est-ce que je peux aller au bécasse? Or whatever. I think that was from my days in French. I think bécasse is outhouse, actually. But anyway, est-ce que je peux aller aux toilettes? Whatever. Something like that. Would I be able to go to the toilet? Anyway, they're gonna say it, and I'm gonna repeat after them. And what I want is for them to give me immediate feedback of, okay, you got this right, or oh, here's where you went wrong. And now they're gonna break it down to like, maybe you got part of it, but you got a certain word mispronounced. And so they're gonna say, okay, now they're gonna go slowly with you, and they're gonna break it down so you can understand it, you're gonna practice it, you're gonna get it right, then you're gonna combine it together into that phrase. You're going to keep doing this process over and over and over again, building, until suddenly you have a really great result that you can work with. So the same is true of absolutely everything that you've learned, every skill. And when you realize this, at least for me, what was really cool was once I know that this is the process, I know that I can apply this process to anything. And actually the quality of practice, your ability to design yourself exercises, can really accelerate your success. And I invite you to read those two books I mentioned. Again, Talent is Overrated and The Talent Code. They tell some great examples of different schools that have done things a lot better, why the best soccer players on average come out of Brazil, or why there's a disproportionately high number of great soccer players that come out of Brazil, rather. Some examples of people like Mozart, etc. from back in the day, some great writers, the things that they did in order to design their practice in order to accelerate their success. I hope that helps you out. And again, of course, these are things to apply with respect to the wealth building principles, but in general in life. And I think it's really one of the most valuable things that we can learn and really take into account. I guess the thing I'll mention quickly about deep work as well for you. The concept of deep work is like focused work, not distracted where you just get into it and you do it. And that's really critical because distraction takes us out of the process and interrupts our flow. And so we don't do nearly as well. So if you can get into it, deep, intense, no distractions, and just work this process, go, model, do it, get some great feedback, stop, break it down, slow it down, work it until you get it right, then speed it up, put it together, and keep repeating that process. I hope that helps. We'll see you on the next video.